Over the weekend, Stephanie Grisham, who at one point had actually served as the press secretary for the Trump White House, admitted that Donald Trump actually encouraged employees to break the law. Here is what Ms. Grisham said. In the White House, when we would get Hatch Act violations, that was a badge of honor. It was a joke in the White House. The president used to say to us, quote, "You know who's in charge of the Hatch Act? It's me. Go ahead, say whatever you want to say." Now, of course, last week, we got the report showing that in the run-up to the 2020 presidential election, there were at least 13 members of the Trump White House who have now been found to have violated the Hatch Act. And as I explained in that video, it is up to the current president where these individuals who broke the Hatch Act were working to punish them. And because they did this under Donald Trump, there is no real way to actually punish these individuals. So in a sick and twisted way, Donald Trump's comments here were absolutely correct. Just like the time when Kellyanne Conway had repeatedly violated the Hatch Act, Office of Inspector General said, listen, you need to fire her because she keeps breaking the law. All Trump had to say was, no, I'm not going to do that. And there was nothing anyone could do about it. So I don't doubt for a second that Stephanie Grisham is telling the truth here. Because based on what we saw out of the White House, everybody that was working there had no problem violating federal law. The Hatch Act is, in fact, a federal law. It may be one that's, not that big of a deal. It's not like you went out and murdered somebody. But you cannot engage in political actions while on your official duty as a, member of the White House. That's it. Some people may even think it's a silly law, but it's still a law. It doesn't matter if you agree with it or disagree with it. It is the law of the land, and there are actual consequences for breaking it. The problem is we just never have anybody serving as president who wants to punish people for it. We saw multiple Hatch Act violations in the Bush administration. We had some during the Obama administration. We've had one so far this year with the Biden administration. And just nobody does anything about it. So what do we do? How do we prevent future presidents, possibly even a future President Trump again, from encouraging people to break the law? You got to remake the law. That is the only possible way to get around this ridiculous rule that only the president who was presiding when the Hatch Act violations occurred can discipline these individuals. I think it needs to be a matter for Congress. Either that or a matter for the DOJ with no presidential input. But either one of those, you're also going to run into the political problems because the DOJ is going to be on literally whatever side the current administration is because they're the ones who picked them. And Congress is going to be whatever party holds Congress. So if a Democrat commits a Hatch Act violation, but Democrats control Congress, they're not going to do anything. Same thing with Republicans if they control both. So I don't know what the exact answer is, but I do know that these individuals serving in the White House are continuing to violate the Hatch Act. Of course, nobody did it more than the folks in the Trump White House in modern history. But it is what it is. It's a federal law. They were encouraged to break it, and not a single person was actually punished for doing that. One of today's video sponsors is Magic Spoon cereal. Look, we're all trying to eat better, but healthy breakfast doesn't have to be boring. Magic Spoon has the amazing flavors that you love, but without all the bad stuff. And it's amazing as a midnight snack right before bed, too. Magic Spoon has 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. And there's only 140 calories per serving. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low-carb. And you can build your own box. Available flavors to build your very own custom bundle include cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, blueberry, cinnamon, cookies and cream, and maple waffle. And those last 2 flavors are now available permanently after having such a great reception from customers. So go to magicspoon.com/ROF to grab a custom bundle of cereal and try it today. And be sure to use our promo code ROF at checkout to save $5 off your order. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product that it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember, get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/ROF and use the code ROF to save $5.